Hi everyone, Michael from the N-hance School team is here. In today's video, we'll walk through the process of baking auxiliary texture maps from high poly to low poly models in Blender. We'll be using these baked maps later on for texturing our model. You can download the model from our Discord channel and follow along with this tutorial, as it will be much more beneficial for your practice. Scene preparation. Before we start baking the maps, you'll need to prepare the model. First, I'll create copies of all elements, both for the high poly and the low poly versions. I'll move them to a new collection, which we'll name Bake. Now I'll hide the first collection. Next, I'll arrange the unmerged elements of the high poly and low poly models so that they don't overlap or affect each other during the baking process. This is necessary because Blender lacks a match by name feature. In other words, Blender doesn't have a tool to match high poly and low poly surfaces based on their naming, unlike software like Marmoset. Once we've created and positioned the duplicates, we'll merge the high poly elements into a single mesh. We do the same for the low poly model. Checks and constraints. Now we need to check the materials and attributes of the model. The low poly should only have one material and no unnecessary attributes. To check the attributes, go to the Data tab. That's this green triangle icon. Check the attributes and delete any extras. In this case, we don't have any unnecessary attributes. Everything looks fine. Also, make sure to check the model's transforms. The model should be at the origin with all coordinates set to 0. The scale must be set to 1. If you see different values and don't want to move the model, press Ctrl+A, then select All Transforms to apply all transformations to our model. We'll perform the same check on our high poly mesh. Attributes on high poly are less critical, so we don't have to fix them. But as you can see, there are extra materials here that we need to remove. They will just get in the way. Baking, normal map. Now, to start baking, go to the Render tab. Change the render engine to Cycles. Scroll down to the Bake section, and under Bake Type, select the map you want to start with. I want to start by baking the normal map. To begin, select our low poly. In its material, create an empty image texture node. Create a new map, let's say with 2K resolution. Let's call it World Normal. Since this is a normal map, set the color space to non-color immediately. Connect it to the normal map node. Now select the high poly first, then the low poly. Select that node we are about to bake. Make sure to check the Selected to Active box. Set the extrusion parameter to 0.005. This is where we adjust the projection distance of the low poly surface from the high poly. After all that, we can hit Bake. Fixing artifacts. As you can see, our texture is baked and we can check out the result. Let's make the material a bit darker. Let's see how it looks. There are some artifacts. I found out that the model was too small for baking. I had to increase the scale tenfold for both high poly and low poly relative to their pivots. And after scaling up, the optimal extrusion resolution was 6/1000. After setting these parameters, I got a relatively clean bake on my model. Now that we've sorted out the scale and bake settings, let's bake the remaining maps. The next map I want to bake is Ambient Occlusion. So I'll create a new image texture node for it. Let's name it Sword AO, also 2K. Select high poly, low poly, the target map, and click Bake. Once the ambient occlusion map is baked, we can connect it to the base color to see how it looks on the model. Alright, let's move on. The next one I want to bake is the curvature map. To bake it, we'll need to slightly modify the high poly material, and we'll use emission as our bake type. Go to the high poly material and create a geometry node and a color ramp node. In gamma, I'll set the value to 1.1. In the color ramp, I'll change linear to cardinal and bring the color sliders a bit closer to the center. Connect the pointiness output from the geometry node to the color ramp. Let's slightly decrease the white influence and boost the black. Perfect. I've achieved the effect we need. Now select the low poly after the high poly. Select the target bake map and hit Bake.
Our curvature has finished baking. Let's see how it looks and how it defines edges. To do that, connect it to color. Let's see how it defines edges on the UV. Everything looks good. After we've discussed what each map affects, let's go ahead and save them. To do this, I'm going to the texture paint section. I click on the image option and then choose Save As. We choose the folder where we want to save our map. We repeat the exact same thing for each map. Another map that's also not in the bake type list is the world space normal map. And we'll need to create, first of all, a geometry node, a value node, a vector math node. Let's duplicate it. Change the first one from add to multiply and leave the second on add. Connect the target to the vector. In the value, set it to 1 or 0.8. Connect that to the vector. Connect this value right here and also over here. And then all of this will go directly into emission. Let's slightly adjust the value, say to 0.5. And click bake. Let's go ahead and connect our baked map to the base color, just to see exactly how it looks in our scene. And theoretically, this is how we've obtained our world space normal map. Unlike a standard normal map, the world space normal map works on the same principle, but it allows calculating light behavior relative to the global coordinates of the entire scene. This isn't the best way. It's a fake way of baking a world space normal map, but in the absence of alternative solutions, this method might come in handy for you.
If you want to learn full 3D pipeline for modern games, you can join our school in the video description.